this. Like, this is all just made up. You're asking me to be crazy. You're asking me to look at a grown man and imagine that he's actually a woman, and that if he goes and gets work done, that he magically becomes a woman. So it's insanity.
If you're a man, you can't just wake up in the morning and say, I want to be a woman today. Stop disrespecting women. You don't know what it's like to be on a menstrual cycle. You don't know what it's like to hold a baby in your belly for 9 months.
Otherwise, you'd have to defend Rachel Dolezal.
Well, there's no.
Would you defend her?
There's no defending crazy. That's crazy. But
why is that crazy?
Hold on. Because she was a white woman that says she was black.
Yeah, that's a man saying he's a woman.
But let's back up.
You don't know what it's like to keep up with the beauty standards of a woman. Just because you're a man and you think you're a woman, that does not make you a woman. And this is no disrespect. This is just truth. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Travis, and welcome to the IPH Theory. Also, I am one half of the Cultural Discussions. Please like, follow, and subscribe to both entertainment channels on YouTube. And I say that so many times and you all just don't listen, but I thank you for being here. If you don't want to follow the other platform, I'm fine with that. But we have to put in more work on the other platform, but that's not what this topic is about. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, I just did a Jason Lee versus Candace Owens topic. Jason Lee had Candace as a guest on his show, and they spoke about many different things on what a woman is and transgender. But this specific section of the conversation, I'm going to show you a 43-second clip. I got this from Candace Owens' page. And this clip is regarding Rachel Dolezal. I believe I'm saying her last name right, but Rachel Dolezal, she was a Caucasian woman who basically painted her skin more melanated and she wanted to operate as a black woman. But Jason Lee is trying to compare that to transgenders. Like, it's so disturbing. Let's hear this clip.
Now that we live in a world where transsexual is a thing, what is your opposition to it?
This insistence that we allow children to think that they can pick and choose their genders, that's definitely a psychosis. Like, this was not a thing. People were not struggling in kindergarten. We were not arguing about bathrooms. Like, this is all just made up. You're asking me to be crazy. You're asking me to look at a grown man and imagine that he's actually a woman, and that if he goes and gets work done, that he magically becomes a woman. So it's insanity. Otherwise, you'd have to defend Rachel Dolezal.
Well, there's no.
Would you defend her?
There's no defending crazy. That's crazy. But
why is that crazy?
Hold on. Because she was a white woman that says she was black.
Yeah, that's a man saying he's a woman.
But let's back up.
We're talking about the trans issue. She's transracial. So give her respect. Put respect in her name.
Explain to me how.
Because on the inside she felt black. She was dressing like she was black. She was making her skin darker like she was black. She was standing for the black cause. She was working for the NAACP. Just happened to be that she was, born a white girl with blonde hair and freckles. And it only became problematic when somebody exposed it and people said, no, you can't just be black. Why not? If you're gonna say that a man can just be a woman, why can't Rachel Dolezal just be black? You got to be consistent.
Because she's white.
Okay, because it's a man.
No, but hold on. I get it.
I'm right.
I get it.
I'm right.
No, I don't agree.
I'm sorry that I'm consistent, but you have to figure out why you're not.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it was a quick clip. I might play it over, but I just don't understand it. Rachel Dolezal was a white woman who wanted to operate as an African-American woman. And Jason Lee, he has an issue with that. Not necessarily an issue, but he's saying that, well, since she's white, she can't be black. But he's standing up for a man that wants to wake up in the morning and transition into a woman. It's very hypocritical. It's very duplicitous. It's like it's a level of manipulation and deceit and idiocy and lunacy all mixed in one. There's no way that I can just say, hey, I want to be a white man today, or I want to be a Hispanic man today. It doesn't work like that. I want to be whatever God created me to be, and I want to be comfortable in that. But for some reason, Mr. Jason Lee, he thinks that Rachel Dolezal is crazy. And once again, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing her last name correctly, so I apologize. But he thinks that that's being crazy, trying to be a Caucasian and transition into a melanated African American or a black person. But he doesn't see the issue with a man transitioning into a woman. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, being a man is not a costume, and being a woman is not a costume. If you're a man, you can't just wake up in the morning and say, I want to be a woman today. Stop disrespecting women. You don't know what it's like to be on a menstrual cycle. You don't know what it's like to hold a baby in your belly for 9 months. You don't know what it's like to keep up with the beauty standards of a woman. Just because you're a man and you think you're a woman, that does not make you a woman. And this is no disrespect. This is just truth. And there's nothing wrong with truth. And we need to bring truth back to society, especially to the people who claim to be truthful and righteous and want to speak truth. Once again, if you want to transition into another ethnicity, I don't know why, but some people choose to do it, but you'll have an issue with that. But you don't have an issue with the man transitioning into a woman or a woman transitioning into a man. Look, this generation is weird. This generation is different. This generation is lost. They lack righteousness. They lack morals. They lack principles. They lack decorum. Their character and their dispositions are horrible. And we need to bring shame back to society. We need to bring back real love and care to society. And we need to bring back respect. If you are a man, you cannot wake up in the morning and choose to be a woman and put on a skirt or go get your butt done or your breasts done. There's so much that I want to say, but it might get my channel deleted. So I'm going to leave this right here. The righteous people in society, we are sick of it. We are sick of it. Stop the contradictions, Mr. Jason Lee. If Rachel Dolezal wanted to be a white woman and wanted to be a black woman, if that's crazy to you, how come a man transitioning into a woman is not crazy? You yourself are an idiot. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Travis. I thank you for your time. I thank you for your patience. Much love to you and your loved ones.